Hi everyone, my name is Habi Abiola, and on today's topic, I'll be talking about the Fair Information Practice Principles, which is also known as FIPPs. So FIPPs are a set of guidelines and principles that aims to protect the privacy and personal data of individuals in the digital world. So these principles provide a framework for organizations and government to ensure that personal information is collected, used, and shared in a fair and responsible manner. So this is when FIPPs principle comes into play. So one of those principles is transparency. So this principle emphasizes the importance of informing individuals about the collection and use of their personal information. So organizations should provide clear and concise notices that explain their data practices, including the purpose of which data is collected and how it will be used. So this gives the individual the opportunity to make informed decision about their personal data and exercise control over its use. We also have individual participation. So the individual participation principle recognizes the right of individuals concerning their personal data. So individuals have the right to challenge and potentially have their data erased if they want to, if they want their data to be rectified, or if they want it to be amended if they found out that the information is incorrect or incomplete. Also, purpose specification is one of the principles. So this principle requires that the purpose for collecting personal data should be specified at the time of collection, and that the subsequent use of that data should be limited to fulfilling those specified purposes. We have data minimization. So PII should be collected only if the data is directly relevant and necessary to accomplish the specified purpose. So PII should be obtained by lawful and fair means and retained only as long as it is necessary to fulfill the specified purpose. We also have use limitation. So the use limitation principle state that personal data should not be used for purposes other than those specified, unless with the consent of the individual or maybe by authority of law. So we also have data quality. So the data quality principle emphasizes um, that personal data should be relevant, accurate, complete, and and kept up to date for their intended purposes. We have integrity and security. So this is responsible for ensuring the accuracy and security collected um, on the data, such as using encryption or other security measure to protect customer information from unauthorized access. We also have accountability and auditing. So organization are accountable for complying with the measure implementing the FIPPs. So for providing training, they need to provide training to all employee and contractor who uses PII, and auditing the actual use of the actual use and storage of the PII. And on my next slide is how FIPPs can be compared to other privacy policies, laws, and regulations. So FIPPs, like I said earlier, they are a set of guidelines that aim to protect individuals' privacy and personal information. So they provide um, a strong framework for protecting privacy and promoting responsible data handling practices. So one key difference between FIPPs and other privacy um, policies is their comprehensive nature. So while many policies only address the collection and the use of personal data, FIPPs covers the entire life cycle of personal information, including the storage, sharing, retention, and disposal. So this ensures that privacy rights are protected throughout the entire data handling process. So when comparing FIPPI to other privacy policies and laws and regulations, it is clear that that they are way differ in different ways. They prioritize, transparency, accountability and user control. So unlike other privacy policy that are confusing and sometimes they might be hard to understand. But for FIPPs, they emphasize, clear and accessible communication. So they require organization to provide individuals with easily understandable information about how their personal data is collected and how it is used. So this allows individuals to make informed decisions and have more control over their personal information. So they emphasizes on user control, allow individuals to access, correct, delete, modify their data. So privacy policy and policies and other regulations out there, they may limit individual control over their personal information. So FIPP is also emphasized on accountability, and they require organizations to take responsibility for how they handle data. So this accountability builds trust between individuals and organizations. So FIPP distinguish themselves throughout, through their comprehensive approach. They focus on transparency. They emphasize on accountability and recognition of individuals' right to control their personal data. On my next slide is, to describe how FIPPs can be used in protecting personally identifiable information, which is also known as the PII, and how a federal agency can put each of these principles to use. So FIPPs is an essential framework that plays um, a crucial role in safeguarding, personally identifiable information, PII. So FIPPs serve as a valuable resource in protecting PII by providing comprehensive guidelines and standards. So one way in which FIPPs proves useful is through its establishment of security control and measures. So these controls, they encompass various aspects such as physical security, access control, encryptions, data handling procedures, and so on and so forth. So by implementing this measure, organization can significantly reduce the risk of PII breaches and ensure that sensitive information remain confidential and secure. So FIPP also aids in development of incident response plan. So this plan outlines the necessary steps to be taken in the event of a PII breach. So ensuring that the organizations are prepared to mitigate the impact and respond, quickly to any breaches. So by having a well-defined incident response in place, organization can minimize the potential damage that can affect any individuals, and then they can address any vulnerabilities or weaknesses that may have been exploited. So additionally, FIPPs emphasize the importance of employee training and an awareness program. So by educating employees on significance of PII protection, organization can foster a culture of security and ensure that the employees are equipped with the knowledge and skills to handle PII responsibly. So this helps reduce the likelihood of human error or negligence that may lead to PII breaches. So by adhering to these principles, organization can instill trust among their stakeholders, and demonstrate their commitment to protecting PII. So it is very essential to make sure that organization can protect PII from unauthorized access, protect PII from um unauthorized use or disclosure. So FIPPI provide guidelines for the proper handling and storage of the PII. So this includes defining requirements for data retention and disposal, ensuring that PII is not retained for longer than necessary and is properly destroyed when they are no longer needed. So this guideline prevents the accumulation of unnecessary PII. It minimizes the potential impact of a data breach. Then when you have to talk about how a federal agency can put each of these principles to use, the agency must follow guidelines that prioritizing transparency, participation, collaboration, and innovations are key. They have to adhere to this principle. The agency can deliver efficient and effective services to the public. So that should be their goal. So transparency in particular, it is very, very important, as it is allow the agency to make its operations and decision-making process more visible and accessible to the public. So this can be achieved through publishing information on the official website or holding public hearing and so on and so forth. So this promotes accountability and helps build trust with the public by allowing them to understand the agency actions and hold it responsible. So another important principle that a federal agency can use is participation. So this involves actively involving the public in decision making. So they can gather different various perspectives and from individuals, ensuring that the agency policy and programs reflect the needs and value of the community itself. So this can be achieved through activities such as public consultations, surveys, or the creation of advisory committee consisting of maybe stakeholders from diverse backgrounds or so on and so forth. So by engaging with the public in a meaningful manner, the agency can promote a sense of ownership and share responsibility. This can result in more effective and inclusive outcomes. So also, federal agency can also prioritize innovation. So this can be done by promoting creativity and embracing new technologies, which will lead to continuous improvement in processes, services, and its outcomes. So this may involve trying out new projects or using maybe data to make a reasonable decision, and also exploring emerging technology to increase efficiency and effectiveness. So by fostering an innovative culture, the agency can adapt to changing needs and stay ahead of their games at all time. And thank you so much for listening. And here are my references, and do have a good one.